Well, this one is called The Steves. There's a lot of guitar players named Steve who are really exceptionally good. And so I thought I'd go through a few of them, and so you can check them out if you haven't heard of them. Number one on my list would be Steve Howe, mostly known from Yes, but he was also in a band called Tomorrow. He left Yes and started Asia, which was the number one selling band of 1982. After that, he went to GTR and had a hit with When the Heart Rules the Mind, good song. And then he went back to Yes again for a while, and still there. He's made a ton of solo albums. Guy's fantastic, a writer and player. Can't sing to save his life, but he's a great player. Then Steve Morse, most talented, probably even more than Howe, possibly. He plays acoustic and electric equally well, classical to shredding. He was in the Dixie Dregs solo. He was in Kansas, the band, for a while. Deep Purple for 30 years until recently. And he was an airline pilot. He's quite a guy, and he's still playing. He's exactly my age, in fact. Steve Vai, he was a student of Joe Satriani. He joined Frank Zappa's band in his late teens. He was in the movie Crossroads doing the guitar duel. That was awesome. He was in David Lee Roth's band after David Lee Roth left Van Halen on his first two albums. And there's a song called Damn Good that's damn good. Check it out. He was in a group called G3 with Joe Satriani and Eric Johnson. And he's solo, and he's all over the place. And he owned a record company that actually had the revived Yardbirds on his label. There's Steve Lukather, the ultimate session guitarist. I first heard him with Rosanna with Toto. Actually, I first heard I Love L.A., the Randy Newman song, and that's him playing the solo in the back of a convertible driving through Beverly Hills. That's him on Beat It, not the solo. That's Eddie Van Halen, but all the riffs. That's Steve Lukather. And hundreds of hits. If you go to Google, look up his famous solos for other people. I guess he was part of the Wrecking Crew. He knew Tommy Tedesco, I know. And he's been in Ringo's All-Star Band. Plus, Toto's made a ton of albums with great solos. Steve Stevens is another one. This guy with Billy Idol. Flesh for Fantasy is beyond belief. Rebel Yell. He's actually doing some finger picking in there while shredding. And White Wedding. Steve Stevens can play. Steve Cropper. Oh boy, there's the guy. The Stax House Band. Booker T and the MGs, Blues Brothers, played with Otis Redding. And he's a writer. That's what I like. He wrote Dock of the Bay, In the Midnight Hour, Knock on Wood, Mr. Soul. No, not Mr. Soul, that's Neil Young. Soul Man, Mr. Pitiful, that's it, and Green Onions. Oh, that was a great one in American Graffiti. Steve Hackett, he was in Genesis and also GTR with Steve Howe. But my favorite is he had a band with Chris Squire called Squack It. That's great. Stephen Stills is a master, Buffalo Springfield. He also wrote a hit outside the band for the Mojo Men, Sit Down, I Think I Love You, for which he only made $200. CSNY, and his masterpiece, Manassas, the first double album, the Stills Young Band. And he was in a band with Kenny Wayne Shepherd called The Ride more recently, and solo, of course. Steve Marriott had all the energy in the world as a solid player, but he was smart enough to get Peter Frampton be his real lead player in Humble Pie. But Steve could play and had energy beyond words. Steve Winwood, how about that? He kind of reminds me of Greg Smith from Salem, Ohio, because he's known for his keyboards and vocals and writing, but he could also play guitar half decent. And Greg Smith is the same thing, master of the keys and vocals and composing, but also could play electric guitar, maybe acoustic too. And Stevie Ray Vaughan. How do you like that? A bunch of Steves, the Steves. Yeah, this is about musical treatments. A good song has at least one style that suits it. A great song can work in multiple ways. For example, even Paul McCartney was blown away by the power of Joe Cocker's version of A Little Help from My Friends. Compare Creedence Clearwater's Proud Mary to Tina Turner's, for example. When you write a song or cover a song, just for fun, try it in multiple ways, whether it's just you and a guitar, a piano, and a voice, or full orchestra. maybe turn a song 4/4 time into 3/4 time and see if it works. You could turn a country song into a dance track or a pop tune into gospel. Maybe a bluesy, jazzy, or acoustic or electric song into a ballad, zydeco, reggae. Try it every way and maybe combine several into one song. That would make it interesting. So, you know, another thing is to ask, maybe think about your favorite band, like how would the Kinks treat this song, or how would Electric Light Orchestra do it? Assuming you've written the music first, a tip is to write multiple sets of lyrics, and always write too many lyrics. That's a Bob Dylan thing, but write several sets, completely different subjects. One of them will stand out, and it'd be fun to record all 3 or 4. And just imagine a Hard Day's Night with a different set of lyrics or even title. But it could have happened. But they nailed it the first time. And you can write lyrics anywhere. A tip I've always learned is just, I don't need a guitar with me to write the lyrics, because the cadence is what you need, the count. Pick a song that's a successful song and works well. And if you write to those number of beats in a measure, it'll fit whatever music you write. Like 8 days a week, write new words to that song, but then you write your own music later, or put it to music that's already existing. And it will fit, because you got the right number of beats, and your rhyme scheme is correct, the cadence, and it'll fit your chord progressions. Then later on, tightening up the accents and phrasing is kind of fun. Book authors have always said rewriting is their favorite part, because little things and tweaks can make a good line great. And that works in music too, songwriting, poetry. Objectivity comes at the end of the process, so that's fun. So then you could switch it around and try to put "Won't Get Fooled Again's" lyrics over "Take Me Home Country Road." And it will work. You'd be surprised. People do mashups on YouTube videos all the time, and you can make 2 songs fit in one song's music, but with different lyrics. So go for it. Mix and match.